Good morning and welcome back to Miniature Monday here on Gaming with ADHD, where it's time for our typical Monday morning paint stream. Because let's be honest, it's Monday morning, and who wants to be doing whatever else it is that you're doing on a Monday morning? Right? Anyhow, yeah, for me, I got a lot of rest, got a lot of projects done. I got some projects done this morning, so I've been doing a few things. Unfortunately, I did not get my games of Kill Team in that I was hoping for this weekend. I got no response from anybody when I said I was looking for a game this weekend. So that was a little disappointing. But I managed to get a deal on Facebook for a bunch of Sisters of Battle miniatures, so I get to expand on that collection a little bit. Today, I've been sitting on these miniatures for quite a while, so I want to do more of this Necromunda stuff. So just comes down to getting it done. But I've got all the files. Re-downloaded everything, organized it all yesterday, so now I can start, kind of piecing through how I want to work with the stuff. So yeah, there's that. So for today, what are we going to work on? Let's go ahead and flip over to the infamously small work table. Kind of adjust our screen a little bit. All right, so I have a couple things on the table that I want to work on. So first off, we have the Delaque miniatures from Print Minis. For anything Necromunda, if I'm doing miniatures, almost guaranteed, like 90-95% guarantee, I'm going to be working with Print Minis. I like their 3D printing stuff. I like my 3D printer. So those are the figures that I'm going to use for those. I'm not using official Games Workshop miniatures, but I don't care. I mean, that's the short answer. I want to use some of these alternate sculpts, so that's what I'm going to use. So I've got the Delaque gang right here. I realized that I wanted to trade this out, but didn't, so let's set that off to the side. Grab a new one. I know, folks. Super professional, as always. And let's be honest, if I didn't have something I screwed up on, it wouldn't be a start to the show. All right, so we've got the Delaque miniatures. The assassins that I was working on over the weekend, these are from Heroes Infinite. These are essentially done. I got them a wash, got a good shade on everything. They're assassins. They're essentially just black and white. But I do want to color their eyes, so we are going to do that today. It's going to take a couple of seconds, and for those of you who have been here for a while are going to recognize the technique. It's not hard at all. And then the last thing is I have these 10 Sump Pirate miniatures from Print Minis that are going to be used for my Orlocks gang, and I would like to get these finished today. So that is the grand summation of all of the projects that I've got on the table for the next couple of hours. Let's see here. Give me 1 second. Just realized that I've been really bad about just like promoting this. It's like I'll just go live, and I shouldn't. I should be better. So I know. So many people over here upset with me. All right, so let's go ahead and know what? Let's post one more. I know, it's super exciting times around here, folks. But anyways, so that is what I have on the schedule. So let's go. Wait, that is nope, that is not what I was. There we go. So let's go ahead and get started. All right. So first thing, we're gonna get these assassins done. Just so I can get them off. I can get them off the table. I can move them along, and it won't be a problem. So what we are going to do here. This is a simple technique that I came up with while doing BattleTech miniatures, and I like it, and so that's what we're gonna do. So all of the eyes have been painted with a shining silver, and so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cover them with speed paint. Speed paint is from Army Painter. It's their version of, I think, contrast paint is what Games Workshop calls it. And I have not retrained myself into using all of these, or using these paints appropriately. So for now, I just kind of use it for what I do. So essentially, can't really see it, but essentially I just painted the eyes silver, and so I'm going to come in with a little bit of each color. And drop that in. So this is not showing up super well. But essentially, it's supposed to kind of give a metallic look to the eyes, but also give a little bit of color to them. So it's fun. I like how it works. I mostly use it for like lasers and cockpits on BattleTech figures. That's where I first tried it. And for the assassins, because the assassins are mostly just black anyways, finding ways to give them a little color that doesn't seem out of place was kind of important. So that's why I'm doing this for the eyes. Just to give them some contrast. So exactly what 6 worlds, freaking laser beams. So now we got chickens throwing a fit.
So the catch, Six World, is that Peanut Gallery did feed the chickens, but for some reason, if they see her, they think that they need more snacks. Which is, we keep telling them, but is, you know, it's not quite how that works. All right, for this Kulexis assassin, instead of putting it on the actual eyes, I'm putting it on this little sensor job over here. Mostly because the eye section, yeah, doesn't really look like eyes. It looks like a little visor thing. Figure, leave that alone. Yeah, I know the chickens think they need all the snacks, but you know, it's okay to say no to the chickens. I promise. They won't die. Like, and the catch there is, like, I've come to the realization that really all a chicken does is eat. Like, it's not like a dog where you gotta take it out and get it some playtime. It's not like a cat that hunts for sport. Like, literally, all a chicken does is eat. So we let the chickens just wander around the yard, which is its own host of problems. Anyways, so look, see, little glowy eyeball. The bases were simple. I just did some neutral gray. Actually, no, I did dark warm gray, dry brush some neutral gray, and then did a dark tone wash. That was it. And the bases actually look decent. Yeah, I agree. That was another fun thing. Is like the Eversaur has always had kind of a bone mask, but the way that these were all sculpted is like, nope, everybody's gonna get a bone mask. So it still pulls the black suit, the leather straps. I did leather just to break up some of the monotony on the black. But then the bone mask. So all of that on the figures just kind of pulls everything together, and then just like a little bit of silver, a little bit of color depending on the model to give a little bit of individuality, but overall nice and nice consistent look to all of them. All right. So that is all of those. So what do I have? All right, so these are the models for Delaque from Print Minis. They did some alternate heads with these fedoras. I don't know why, beyond the fact that it's just kind of funny and like a kind of like a Darkman kind of look. And so where I had the option for fedoras, I chose them. I haven't decided if I'm just going to do black fedoras or like other color, because the models are mostly going to be black. They've got the style for the miniature went very much in that kind of Darkman. Dark City. That's what I meant. I don't watch a lot of those kinds of movies, so I forgot them. I think I might have seen that one once. Anyways, but I kind of knew what I was talking about. So we are just going to take these guys and first off, just give them some of that dark warm gray layer as the base. Personal opinion, I like doing dark grays over black because I can still see some definition in the model. And then when I wash it, it gives it a much darker tone, which is a bit closer to black. But again, still can see that detail. That's what we're going to do with these guys. And eventually we'll kind of make up a skin tone, because I want that kind of like the almost Gene Stealer cult looking skin tone. That is my phone. But obviously these guys are not Gene Stealer cults. Or so they say. So the funny thing is, like, I don't actually need these models. But for fun, my friend that's been wanting to play Necromunda, like, he already has some of the old Deluxe painted up. But he still liked the look of these, so I'll give him the choice. That, and I just wanted something else from Print Minis to paint up. Which Print Minis was actually like super generous to me. For tribe members, they give 50% off, just like by default. Tribe members is the subscription service through MyMiniFactory. But this was one of those situations where I approached them and I said, hey, I'm planning on buying everything that I don't have yet. Would you be willing to do a better discount? And so it took a little bit. It wasn't immediate, but they came back with a custom code for me. No, it's not for anyone else. Sorry, I'm not going to share it. And it was good for 65% off. So it actually shaved a good amount. Off of the purchase price. But I now have their complete set of figures for use with Necromunda. They do have some extra stuff in it, like they've got like they've got some Imperial Guard, they've got some Space Marines, which I haven't decided how much I'm going to do with that stuff. But it could be used. Partly because, just like from a storyline perspective, obviously Necromunda is going to have Imperial Guard units that they contribute. The Imperial Fists have a fortress monastery in Hive Primus. Yeah, it was really cool that they were willing to work for me, and so here's my approach. I always go in. I am willing for you to say no. I don't expect anything. And I even said it. I was like, look, I'm going to buy the entire collection at some point. If you give me a discount code, I'm gonna do it all right now. If not, it'll just take slower. Or more time. And they could have easily come back and said, no, sorry. You're already a tribe member, you get 50% off. Which is totally valid response. I have zero issues with that. I would have not been upset if they said that at all. Yes, I would have taken a couple of months to, piece out getting the rest of the collection. Actually, I was going to do a different... I was going to do, like, the Alpha Strike, like, accessory pack for a Miniature Monday video, but I think I should do just, like, because they did the discount, I think I should just do, like, a Print Minis Necromunda so far video. This is what they've released, because they've got, like, 2 years worth of releases. Like, heck, I could split it up into multiple videos. Here's 2022, here's 2023, here's 2024. So I try to do it all at once. It's probably going to be just like this massive video. I mean, I realize that YouTube wants longer content supposedly, but I don't know if the time needed for covering 2 years worth of releases is gonna get a lot of traction. I don't know. We'll see. Yeah, this guy, the dagger. See if you can see. Yeah, so the dagger broke at some point when I was taking the supports off. And I'm like, oh, I'll have to. At first I was thinking maybe I'd have to reprint the arm, because it's just it's head, torso, arms is the parts for these guys. But then I was thinking of like, wait, this is Necromunda. These are gangers. These aren't like well-funded hive houses. This is like the guys that make do with what they can find. So this guy has like a rusty dagger that the tip is broken off. You know what? That's what he's got. So I left it. Figured I could have some fun with that stuff. All right. And that's a base layer applied to all of the Delaque figures. So let's set them to the side. I swear, my next project, really need to get on my expansion project. Exactly, Six World. It's a prison shiv. They're in a hive world. They don't get to go outside. They kind of live in a prison. I don't care that they built a park, you know, down on level 432. Because let's be honest, the nobles that live at the very top of the hive, that's where they start counting from. You know, if they build a new level, they just re-level it or renumber everything. Anyways, so yeah, the park on level 432. I mean, it's nice, but it's still inside. It's and you know, once the who's it's once the spires came in and kind of took out, you know, took over the park as like a pit fighting arena, you know, it just kind of lost all of its, you know, charm. Yeah, exactly. Six World. Go outside and play takes on a whole new meaning in Hive Primus. Absolutely. All right. So next thing I want to do is I've got my Delaque, and I want to give some metallic tones to them. So I normally go with dark silver, but the catch is it's going to be dark silver. I mean, basically, my choices are dark silver or silver. And I kind of want these guys chromed out. I mean, it's not going to be a lot. It's going to be like essentially some highlights. But I kind of want to do silver, but... All right, you know what? Let's do dark silver, and then we'll go back and we'll look for areas that would be like chrome. So like this guy, he's got a couple little pieces right here on his shoulders. And so like my head is like, you know, it's the underhive. I mean, what is he going to have? He's not going to have like, you know, burnished steel, but maybe he found like some aluminum. You know, and aluminum's going to have like a shinier metallic look to it. So we're going to go through, we're going to give everything everything that I'm going to paint metallic. We'll hit it with the dark silver, and then we'll decide what we want to come back and hit with regular silver. Good morning, Mundo. How are you doing, sir? Everybody say thank you, Mundo, for, you know, being one of the influences to get Brian to look at Games Workshop stuff again. The other one is Chris, but he never shows up for these. Watch, I say that and he's in chat right now. And I realize I said that like it's a complaint, but, you know, it's not. It's just me having fun with Mundo. Mundo's a good guy. Who moved closer, and I still haven't seen the guy in, like, forever. And that's, like, on me. Which is funny because, like, moved closer and he's still like 40 miles away. So it's not like he's in the neighborhood, but. But it's closer than the, hour and a half away that he was. I did not get you into the hobby years ago, Mundo. I didn't even, at least not that I was aware of. I don't even remember meeting you until you became an outrider. If I forgot something along the way, I apologize. I apologize because I totally do not remember that conversation, but like, the fact that anyone considers me a positive influence, I'm very grateful for it. I'm not sure why, or why I'm considered a positive influence, but I'm still appreciative when I hear it. I need to get another color in there for his belts. Because we got brown on brown and it just hides. Anyways, but yeah, the Outrider program, that was so long ago. Like, I was literally in the Warhammer store, and the number of people who had just like no clue what I was talking about when I said, yeah, I used to be an Outrider, and they're like, what? Like, it literally was like the gold standard of demo teams. Yeah, see, I wanted to do stuff like that. I was just poor and never in a position to make stuff like that happen. The ADHD doesn't help for stuff like that either, but still. I don't want to use that as a crutch. I wasn't using it as a crutch at the time. Looking back, I could see how it would have been a disaster, but that's a separate story. Yeah, there were a lot. Like, I had a Mundo. I had a ton of fun as an Outrider as well. Met people that I'm still friends with to this day in the hobby because of it. Technically, I still meet people because of it. Just because of some second, third order connections.
So, hey, Steven! GW sent you a 1099? I don't remember that. Maybe that was like towards the end. Like, there were some years like oh my gosh, I was able to get like that's how I afforded Games Workshop back in those days. Like I would schedule events all the time. I would run tournaments, I would do store demos, I would do I'd have store owners like literally reach out to me, hey, I'm gonna run this thing, or I wanna do this thing. Do you want to come run it for me? And I'd count that as an event. So like I had all sorts of stuff back in the day. That I literally would not have been able to afford otherwise. The problem is that like now is that you know, the YouTube influencer market has completely changed how those things work. You know, on top of that, Games Workshop, you know, I mean, Games Workshop doesn't do it at all. But other companies, it's like there are some that do it. Like I know Mantic does it. I mean, technically I am one of the reps for Mantic, but yeah, it's kind of complicated these days. You know, Mundo talks about getting a 1099. I don't remember it. Not saying they didn't, but again, how companies have to report stuff like that. You know, like, because that was one of the nice things. I would totally do it because like it wasn't income. So I could run all of these events. Games Workshop didn't care. Actually, what I thought was funny is I actually ran into a guy who now does stuff with Mantic. And he's like, yeah, I was the trade sales rep for your area. And I knew who you were because anytime you ran an event, sales went up the next week, you know, for that store. So it's actually kind of crazy to actually hear that, like, oh, I actually had some influence. Weird. So but yeah, but now I'm just like, I'll hang out at, I just want to hang out at home. I've got my new gaming table, which I'm going to show off soon. I know I've been talking about it. I sat down with Kim when we got the table, so it's been like a couple weeks now. But I sat down with Kim and she picked out a playmat
reason I let her pick it out is because like I picked one out. I'm like, I'm just gonna get a space one. Space will be great. And she's just like, nope. You can't have a space one. I'm like, why not? It's like, it's not what like first off, I already control the room anyways. Like all of my board games are in there, everything's in there. So, you know, to say that I control that room would be an understatement. But I did want her input because eventually I will get the room cleaned up. Eventually, yes, I realize that means it's not right now, but still, that's a separate issue. Anyhow, so she did not want a space-themed playmat in that room. She felt it would throw off the vibe and not quite look right with the wooden table. So I literally sat down with her, found a couple of different websites, a couple of different companies, and just dug through what playmats they have on offer. And you know, picked ones that I like, picked ones that she thought might be interesting. And so we worked together and came up with the playmat. It's technically called Asphalt, but it's kind of like a grayish swamp looking color. Like you'll see when I show off the pictures. Hey, nerds, nerd. So that comes in later today. That will let me put a playmat down so that I can actually, because like you cannot play directly on the wood surface. I mean, it's literally just a Home Depot piece of sheet plywood. So it is like, it will literally destroy whatever you put on that table. Like it was not sanded down, which is actually fine. I'm not upset over that. I'm just saying, like even for those that have seen the pictures, because a couple of people have, like I put some of the BattleTech neoprene mats on there, and as I'm getting them into position, because like they're double-sided, so it's got the fabric on both sides. Like I'm feeling it like kind of catch. I'm like, because they're technically not mine, but it's too late. So it's just like, just leave them there for now. If they're damaged, I will replace them. Anyways. So I get my playmat in. We'll put that down. That'll be the base layer. And then any other playmats will just have to sit on top. Which is fine. So, but I'm super excited to have that. Yeah, it was actually kind of funny. I was mentioning to my friend who wants to play Necromunda. So they announced this new set, which I'm very confused on. Well, not very confused, but sort of confused on, because the way they talked about it, it sounded like it was more of a dungeon crawl game as opposed to just a Necromunda expansion, which, if that's the case, I might pick it up. Because it's more board gamey, but we'll see. So probably at least a couple of months out before that gets released. But the local Warhammer store that I've been going to was thinking about doing something Necromunda closer to its release. And like I mentioned it to my friend, and he's like, I have zero interest in going down to the store and playing, which I thought was kind of weird, but cool, whatever. So that's one of the things that I'm most excited about having my own gaming table for, is that I don't have to go anywhere. I can invite my friends over. It's big enough that I can, like, literally, I was like, when I was talking with my son, I was literally prepping for something like Necromunda, because I wanted it to support 2 3-foot by 3-foot gaming areas. It's a little smaller. But that was basically, he made a mistake when designing it, that instead of making his table like 38 by 74, he made it 36 by 72. And so then when we actually put the table ring, the vault, I guess you would call it, on, it shaves a couple inches off from either side. So technically my 3-foot by 3-foot gaming areas are like, you know, just shy, but for my purposes, totally don't care. So that's what we got happening with that. But I'm, like I said, I'm just waiting for the playmat to come in and get that on the table, and then I will take some news pictures, probably do a live stream. My son is actually in California with his girlfriend and her parents for a graduation trip, since they just graduated. So anyways, I'll probably wait for him to come back, and then we'll do a live stream or something. And I'll ask him about it. It's like, well, what difficulties did you run into? Things like that. If he wants to do it, of course. Because not everyone wants to be on stream. Clearly the chat is super enamored by everything I have to say. Glad you're all here hanging out, though. So adding this sword did not work out quite how I expected. Basically, I printed the sword, cut out the hilt, and stuck his hand in there, and it didn't quite fit. Which is fine. Like, I don't need perfect figures. Just good enough. They'll look good on a table. Oh, Steve Cross, if you're still there. Sorry, I was in a zone of talking, so I stopped. But just so you know, I got this primed up. So, you know, it is all ready to get painted. I put some painter's tape over the central supporting post so that, you know, that remains clear, but we'll get the rest of it painted up. Probably as soon as I have these two gangs put together. Yeah, I did see that, Mundo. I got home yesterday and told Kim that I went and got those figures, and she's just like, why? You're not going to get me to play again. I was like, but come on. Like, I've got them painted for you. Just come play. Come on. So we'll see what happens. Ooh, Steven went to Warhammer World at the NEC. Oh, you went. Oh, you went to UK Games Expo. At least I'm assuming you went to UK Games Expo. Yeah, and Warhammer World's a nice little day trip. I would like to go back and have a little bit more time. What'd you think of UK Games Expo? Because, like, so my big issue with Europe as far as gaming goes. Oh, did you get a behind the scenes tour? Because usually they're like pretty locked down and stuff. And no, I'm not asking you to give any secrets away that you might have gotten to see. Because we don't want to get your friend in trouble. Yeah, conventions, I mean, if you're not ready for them, they can be a lot of work. But like, so like Essen is the big board game convention out of Germany. And everybody always makes a big deal. Like, oh, I get to go to Essen. I get to go to Essen. And every time I've heard Essen described, I have like zero desire to go to Essen. Because essentially it's just like a trade show. So like, the only real gaming that goes on is like in the dealer's hall on the floor, which just doesn't sound like fun because it's like it, and it's whatever the dealers are putting on. So, you know, you don't go in to sign up and it's like, oh, I would like to meet people who are playing this game that I also like. So it's very, very strange. So like Essen seemed cool originally, but now it's just like, man. But UK Games Expo seems a lot more like, okay, for lack of a better way to put it, a US style game convention. And it just seems like it would be a lot more fun to do. So I've been considering it, but I'm glad you had fun. So before I ask you your impression of Warhammer World, what did you do at UK Games Expo? Let's regale the chat with your stories of glory in the gaming scene. I know Catalyst was there, so you probably got to get some good deals on some BattleTech stuff. I mean, not necessarily good deals, but like actually in stock of deals. Oh, jeez. I mean, that's kind of how a game of BattleTech goes, let's be honest. Okay, this is frustrating. So what's frustrating is I'm feeling like I haven't eaten, and I realize that I've been up since 3:30, and the package of Pop-Tarts really isn't holding me over. So if I end the stream early because of low blood sugar, I apologize. Actually, you know what? Give me 2 seconds, folks. I will be right back.
All right, first off, Six World. It's not the same when it's food instead of snacks. Mundo, that's pretty funny. Conjured food equals Pop-Tarts. I can agree to that. Yes, I'm doing a paint stream, Peanut Gallery. I just told you I was doing a paint stream.
Bro, don't ask me what you told me like 5 minutes ago.
5 minutes? It was 30 seconds! I know. Time spent with me feels like an eternity, right, dear? And not in a good way, apparently. Oh my. Anyways, so yeah, you all know I hate stepping away from the computer once I get a stream going. But I'm sitting here, it's like, okay, low blood sugar, this is frustrating, the paintbrush isn't very stable at the moment. The Ensign article, grapefruit syndrome. Okay, I will look it up. But I remembered that we've been buying at Costco. It's pre-packaged single servings of just grilled chicken. Whatever. Say what you want about the environment, about the, all the extra packaging and whatnot. But the fact that it's pre-cooked, it will last longer, so I don't have to worry about, how quickly am I eating it. But then also it's just, again, it's a nice little, serving. And so like we've been buying this this spicy ramen stuff that my son introduced me to. And so yeah, and so that's the thing. It's like it's just like a little pre-packed thing of chicken. I make my ramen, mix it up so all the sauce is in there, and I just toss in a packet of chicken. Hey, Mundo, it tastes like chicken, so it could be vat grown fake chicken meat. I don't know, but it tastes fine for what I use it for. Because like and hello, Hungar. Good morning, sir. Like all y'all that have shown up for these paint streams over the last year, one of my things is just eliminating steps. And like that prepackaged chicken, it gets me some protein, but it's like all I have to do is take it out. I don't know what noise I made. Six Worlds was probably not. So, but yeah, it's just a pack of protein. Throw it in there. So I'm not eating just noodles. But anyway, so I just went over and I just grabbed one of those cold.
just ate it in like a minute, or however long that took me. And I can keep my stream going. So there's that. That's a bonus. But yeah. Also a fantastic option 6 world, except for the fact that I hate tuna. Seafood, like in general. Like I don't mind shellfish, but fresh or saltwater fish, just not a fan. Mostly the smell. But yeah, so all those absolutely. It's nice that you have the option, is kind of how I'm looking at it. But then we'll use like regular frozen chicken. 5 months, Hungar. Thank you so much, sir. And thank you for, making sure that the giveaways get done. That's one of the coolest parts about it. And now you get to see me paint a Hungar miniature. I do have to... you probably already have the link for it. I know I had it at one point. I don't know where it is. If you could send me the link for the Hungar miniature so that I can go print it off. Yeah, for those of you who did not notice, I put up the video for drawing the names for the member giveaway. Of which Hungar won, quote unquote, legitimately this time. And he elected to get the Hungar miniature painted. And yes, I know I'm not printing it till the end of the month, but I did order the boxes. So the boxes will be here tomorrow, so I'm going to ship your Battletech figure now. We'll ship the Hungar miniature after it's done. Yes, I realize that's extra shipping, but just I gotta get it done. Gotta get it done. And yeah, actually, I'm just going to keep my mouth shut because I don't want to put bad juju out into the universe. Unintentional bad juju, but I still don't want it. I still don't want it out So yeah, so we got him. Now I'm just waiting for Very Silent Mouse to respond. I messaged him on Discord. He hasn't responded yet. But he's the other winner. And so according to the rules, he's got a week to reach out to me. Now, I normally see him. I mean, he usually shows up for the paint stream, but especially due to time constraints, I'm not going to do a redraw on the name. So I do want to give the miniature away. Anyhow, so what else have I been up to? This weekend I did a lot of reading Star Wars. I am needing to decide what to do about uh-oh. Don't forget the kid. He might be grumpy with you. All right. I'm not exactly sure what to do next on the Delaque, so I'm going to keep working on my Orlocks. We're going to do actually I need a different color for hair and stuff. Oh, well, at least you got the bus. I thought you had to go pick him up. But if the bus is just bringing him to and from, man, you got it easy. All you got to do is make sure you open the door. I was worried. Maybe they probably want you to be outside, but that's way different than what I was expecting. Actually, you know what? I need to do some skin tone touch-ups. Oh, so Stephen Cross, you never did. I never did ask. What did you think of Warhammer World? Did you like go up for the day? Did you just go up for a couple hours? Did you go through the museum? Inquiring minds. Yeah. Have to grow. I mean, kids are weird that way. I wish I could say that they grow out of it, but they don't. Seriously, there is not one person in my house under the age of 18. And the number of squishmallows that have invaded the place over the last 3 or 4 years is ridiculous. Some of them may have been my wife's doing. And other parts, and then had food at Bugman's. How was the like? I didn't take the time. I didn't have the time to go to get food at Bugman's. You know, I should have though. Yeah, that is one thing that I actually regret as a parent, is that I wasn't good at, like, because I went through phases. If I wasn't interested in the gaming and painting stuff, then I was at a point where I encouraged my oldest, and he painted stuff, and my youngest kids wanted to, but I didn't really encourage it, and I was like, oh, you're a little too young. When you get older. And then when they were older, then I wasn't doing it, so then they lost interest. So I did not encourage the hobby with my kid as I should have. That's cool. Yeah, like, so Kim and I do want to do another trip to England. I think I've talked to you about it before. Like, I'd love to do it. I don't know why. I'd love to do it in the middle of winter around Christmas time. It's like I'll just bring a coat and then we can go to the British Museum and it won't be 1,000 degrees inside. I can go to Warhammer World, maybe have enough time to, like, play a game. Like, the question is, do I bring models? Like, I don't know if they do. But like, they should do like rental armies for people who come from out of country. They do not give you a model when you come in to visit. Like I said it before when we came back from the trip. My main issue with Warhammer World is that there's lots of cool stuff, but it's such a corporate environment that it was really sterile. It's not the same as it. Basically, it's a much more corporate environment, which, I mean, sadly is what you're going to get from a company the size of Games Workshop. Like I had a lot more fun going and touring the Mantic headquarters, but that's because that's like it's a much smaller organization. But the museum display is fantastic. Like I can't fault that. I mean, just some of the stuff that they've got up there is just absolutely nuts. The store was fine, but I mean, it's not anything that I can't get at home. I mean, they have like they had like a couple of exclusive things that I just wasn't interested in. Like, actually, okay. I'm doing it again, but I'm stepping away. Be right back. All right, I am back. I know, you're like, why does he keep leaving? This is so weird. Okay, so about 25, like, man, coming close to 25 years ago, I made friends who I've since lost contact with, but this was prior to social media and all that kind of stuff. But I made friends with one of the guys at Forge World. Like early days Forge World, not nowadays Forge World, where it's like just as corporate as Games Workshop. But I mean, they were part of Games Workshop, but they could essentially like do whatever they wanted.
Anyways, so he was coming out to Games Day, and so I messaged him. I'm like, "Hey, could you get me like?" Because I'd found out that you could get a mug from Bugman's, but you could only get it at Bugman's, and I'm like, I would like one of those. And so he brought me this. So it's ceramic, like, this is all, 3-dimensional, like super, super cool. And I've just used it as like a little desk, pour crap in it. I don't use it to drink out of. Well, I have, but man. Anyways, so when I went to Warhammer World this time, like, you could get like a leather drinking horn thing that was kind of lame. You get like a couple of cufflinks, but that was it. And so it was just like, it was really just like, there were also like a couple of like, you could get like a special edition like Land Raider and Land Raider set with a whole bunch of like Ultramarines iconography on it. But like, you had to buy like the whole kit instead of just like, hey, because you're from the United States, here, you can just buy this sprue and buy the Land Raider when you get home. Nope, you had to buy the whole thing. And so I was like, I'm not buying that. But that was also before Mundo, convinced me to play a little bit of 40K again. And thanks, Mundo. Anyways, but yeah, so like Warhammer World exclusives, to say they were underwhelming is an understatement. Like, the only thing that I got, like they had, like, you could get like this special coin for like $5 or something, and then I got the Warhammer World guidebook for like the museum display. That was it. It was like everything else. Why get it at Warhammer World? It's no different than what I can get at home. And I don't have to haul it around England with me. So that was a bit of a recap of my Warhammer World trip. Like, it would be kind of fun to like go and meet up with people I've met. Hey, let's go spend the day at Warhammer World, and we'll play Warhammer, and we'll eat food, and then I'll go off on the rest of my trip around England.
the rest of my second trip around England. Yeah, we'll see if it ever happens. I want it to. Does Kim want it to happen? Maybe not. I mean, she wants the trip to England to happen. I don't know if she'd be down for another Warhammer World visit. Clearly, that was an exciting topic that has energized the chat today. Let's see, what else did I do? So this weekend, I picked out the Star Wars adventure that I'm going to try and run. I'm having to decide what to do about a player in the game because Bear has dropped out. And there are a ton of people that want to play. But I don't know who I want to extend the invite to. I am also afraid of annoying people. It's one thing that is frustrating is that I was kind of keeping it under wraps. And then then Bear tells someone, "Oh, you should go ask him because I dropped out, so you could have my spot." And it's like, thanks for giving me a choice here, which I have no problems with who they sent to me, but I'm trying to mix up the group a little bit. Anyways, now I get to look like the bad guy if I don't pick the person. Super fun, hot, great times, by the way. And I know everybody will be like, it's your game, you can do what you want, but when you involve social media, then it's not always that case. And now I'm talking about it, and I'm, probably get back and somebody will be like, "Oh, why do you not like this person?" It's not that. Nerds nerd, thank you so much for saying that. Like, a lot. And if I don't, I know he'll understand. I wasn't ready to be put in the bad guy role this soon. To put it simply. And I don't think I'm being a bad guy. I don't know. Which I meant to put it into the group Nerds Nerd. So expect a message. About that shortly. Luckily, I've got a couple of weeks I can stall. And then I'll rush because it's too late. And why didn't I make a decision sooner? Exactly. No, and that's one of the key factors, you know, before I start, you know, throwing it out there. I want to make sure that whoever does get the final invite, you know, will fit with the group and that the group will be happy to have them along. So we will see what happens. All right, because I'm basic, I'm just going to give everybody brown hair. I realize I could mix it up, but you know what? Right now, I'm just feeling boring. Also, I really just want to get all of these guys done. Oh, he's got like a full-on eye patch. Which I realize you can't see that well. So instead of a piece of leather, let's just make it metallic. About that wire and the thing on the back of his head, but I didn't quite notice the eye at first. So clearly my mug story sparked a ton of conversation in chat. Anyways, so back to Star Wars. So yeah, so been reading the books. Rules, like I was actually kind of shocked at how easy the rules were. So that used up a lot less time than I was expecting. I'm about 8 pages into the adventure. So I am struggling a little bit making sure that I like, because basically, I mean, it's a pre-written adventure, so it's gonna come off like a railroad. Like, I get it. But I want to minimize how much it comes off like a railroad. I want it to seem like the players are making, you know, their own choices. Like that's one thing that I've always struggled with. It's like when you have a pre-written adventure, how do you deal with failure? Because, you know, they need to hack the computer and get information out of it. Okay. Well, what happens when they fail? You know, it's like the information they needed is in the computer. So, like, actually, what I thought was really interesting is one of the things that keeps coming up on the internet, you know, when I'm looking at role-playing stuff, is the idea that, you know, no fudging, never fudging, can't do fudging. And you know what? And in general, I absolutely agree with that. It's like, let the dice fall where they may. But then I'm reading Star Wars, which is consistently lauded as just this amazing game. Oh, it's amazing. Look at this. It's so cool. And you get into the game mastering section, and it literally talks about, hey, guess what? The players, well, they called it script armor, but the players all have plot armor. They're not going to die. If you're going to kill them, like, there should be, like, real good reasons for it. You really should, like, consider what and why you're doing it. Now, keep in mind, I am going off of Star Wars D6 First Edition. Okay? Like, not even revised. Just, you know, as basic First Edition as it gets. So, you know, I get that it's no fun limited rerolls for is the balance for me. Boss rolled a crit for his area of effect attack that will cause total party kill on first round of combat. Good thing we still have our one make an enemy reroll for the encounter. Something 5e did really well with legendary action saves for bosses to prevent super lucky single roll from being too much. Yeah, no, and I'm not so much worried about like the super lucky rolls. Because, like, to me, the super lucky roll is the this shouldn't have happened kind of roll. Like, it's a difficulty 30, you know, trying to keep it to Star Wars terms. You know, on it's difficulty 30 on 5d6, and, you know, wait, no, that would be a super lucky roll, but it would be like difficulty 30 on 10d6. Yeah, okay, they're probably gonna make it, you know. I'm just talking about like, you know, like in a pre-written adventure, they're like, okay, well, you know, blah, blah, blah. Heroes need to do this. And it was like, okay, well, they clearly can't, like, they haven't managed to hack the computer. So, you know, I mean, at that point, yeah, you have to kind of fudge the dice. It's like, okay, so on your like, you know, they failed 5 hacking rolls. Well, on the 5th one, okay, you managed to succeed, because I gotta keep the adventure moving, but you trip an alarm. So that's one thing that I do like about like success-based systems, or now admittedly I thought it was a bit clunky, but like the Fantasy Flight Star Wars, where it's got the special symbol dice. You know, and so it's now more of an issue of, you know, success, failure, success with special effect, or failure with special effect, or success with special fail effect. I mean, those kinds of things. So that's fair. And I mean, dude, this is all going to be a learning experience. I keep telling everyone, like, treat this as if like you're watching a brand new DM, because that's how I feel about myself. So, yeah, those are all things that I think will come into play. And I'm not worried. I'm just worried about coming off like an idiot. That's like literally, that's my worry. You want to know what Brian's worried about? Brian is worried about looking like an idiot. And yes, I've got friends, and yes, everyone's encouraging me, and yes, everyone's happy to play, but I just don't want to look like an idiot. So yeah, but that's the other thing though, nerd. If you think about it, like, according to the no fudging rule, you know, failure means setting off an alarm, but you still got the information. I mean, that's another form of fudging. I just thought it was really, really interesting. That, you know, nerd, that is a great point. I'm gonna highlight that. Best thing about looking like an idiot is no one cares. How many times do you remember your own failures? Now, how many times do you remember someone else looking dumb? That's a really good point. I remember myself looking dumb a lot. No, I want people to have fun. I want the stream to be fun. I want people watching to enjoy it, even if it's me just, you know, they're enjoying Brian looking like an idiot. Anyways, back to the fudging thing. But yeah, I just thought that was interesting in that at the end of the day, I mean, like everybody talks about, it's all fudging, and fudging is never good, and nobody ever did fudging back in the old days. And then we've got, you know, Star Wars D6 from 1987, so 40 years ago. Oh, it's not D&D, it's not 50 years old, whatever. 40 years ago, writing into the rules. Yeah, here's how you can fudge your dice rolls. Huh. On fudging. Even if you do fudge dice, no, you don't. Right, no, that you never tell the heroes that you did it. Then it just, you know, makes it sad. I'm just more bringing it up because the way the discussion goes is like, no, how dare you do that? How dare you cheat the players? Blah, 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 blah. You know, history will not look kindly on you. When now, like, I'm going back and I'm finding, you know, the 40-year-old RPG book that is like, yeah, do it. I mean, now I have to go. I'd have to go reread it, and I don't think it, like, it absolutely was not saying to do it all of the time, but it absolutely was making the case that, you know, yeah, sometimes you need to do it. So I think it would be very, very interesting to throw that one into the pond and see what the conversation, you know, because I mean, it's also, you know, it's Bill Slavicsek, it's, you know, all the old school writers and creators. I mean, I realize it's not Gary Gygax, but, you know, even if Gary did like killing his players, he probably still fudged the dice every now and again. But yes, Nerd's Nerd, I do agree. You know, even if you do fudge, you don't. This is one thing. I find it interesting that eyebrows do a lot more, I think, for my faces. Like back in yon olden times, I never used to do eyebrows. But doing eyebrows, I think, does more for a face than trying to do eyes does. Anyhow. Guy's got kind of a super trooper stash going on. Man, here I wasn't even thinking that I was going to get an hour done, and we're almost at 2. All right, I'm just going to get the hair done on these guys, and then I'm going to call it good for today. Yeah. No. Hey, Nerd's Nerd. I know you haven't been to a lot of my painting streams, which is fine. I don't mind. But that's actually the same method that I use. I think it was Tabletop Minions pointed it out a few years ago, where he doesn't try to paint faces. He just throws a wash on it. The wash goes into the eye sockets. And then for tabletop standard, it looks fine. Because basically, like, if you think about it, like, anybody that you see from far away, you don't actually see their eyes, but you kind of see shadows underneath their eyebrows and whatnot. So essentially that's what I do. And like, women, I'll put like some reddish coloring for their lips. Not necessarily bright red lipstick unless it's appropriate. But yeah, but just like, I have found if I just do a like and they're not great. I'm kind of sloppy and I was probably using way too big a brush, but just putting the eyebrows and then doing the wash, like, the face just pops a lot more. You literally use the exact words. It does a ton of heavy lifting. So I have been, like, as I've been doing more models, I have been going back and I've been doing a bunch. I've been doing the eyebrows as I do the models, just to get that look on. Now with my Delaque guys, they are not going to get eyebrows, but that is going to be a specific design choice. But I am also going to be, like, I'll mix in a little bit of this faded plum. Probably not with tan flesh. I'll probably, because it's what I have, I'll probably use some of the Reaper Fair skin on these, so a little bit of like flesh tone, but some more purpley kind of tone. I think it'll be good. So anyways, but we'll get to those probably in the next stream. For now, man, I feel like I do feel like I got, like, it was a bunch of little details, but I kept going for a couple hours, so not horrible. All right, so what am I going to have for videos this week? I have no idea. I do want to get a review of the new, not the new Shadowrun book, but the new to me Shadowrun book. The most recent one I picked up, Wildlife. So the Critter book, there were some interesting things in there. So I do want to get a review on it. I haven't done a Shadowrun review in a while. I will. So the 4-Color Cafe is no more, so I am considering doing a Wednesday stream. I don't know, kind of depends on Kim. But we'll see. Thursday I should have an interview. Actually, I need to email the guy back. Anyways, hopefully I'll get a few more videos in this week. If not, I appreciate everyone's patience with me. I know I haven't been great about getting videos out. It's just, I'm in a weird spot, but I'm like doing these streams. I've now done 2 Mondays in a row. I think I've done a couple Fridays in a row. Anyways, so we're getting there. We're gonna get back on track. We'll get some regular content out. Regardless, keep playing your games, keep hanging out, keep being good people.
anyways, for everyone who's still here, thanks for hanging out with me. And I hope I got you off to a good start on a Monday morning. So, anyways, have a great day, folks. Thanks for watching.